I could have allowed myself the luxury of becoming mentally ill or psychologically ill. Bhagwan gave me the opportunity to be near him, to work with him, and he reciprocated my feelings. We have totally put our own world upside down. It's not necessary. It taught me patience and acceptance. And I recognized the value of time. And believe me, it's not boring. I find life sensational. I find it joyful, happy.
This is more than a brand. This is a movement led by Raunak Rangwal.
There's so much about you out in the market. Now, since I work in the space of integrating spirituality with material life, and that is what I'm doing, I'm sure you'd be open if I, instead of the external factors, I talk of the internal factors. Would that be okay with you?
That would be refreshing.
Yes. Because I want this to be an actual conversation, where you and I, we add value to people.
Right.
Okay, so like I said, Sheila, the first time I read about you was in the 1980s.
Right.
And from that time, I just wanted to meet you, speak to you, know more about you. And our friend Ronak has made it possible. Now you could ask me why.
Well, I should normally, but I'm not a so curious person.
But let me tell you, I would like to tell you.
Right.
A simple thing. Number one, I saw a woman who was clear what she wanted. I saw a woman who took every blow on her chin, stood up, and I saw a woman of steel, of substance. I said, look, I got to speak to her. And nothing happens in life by accident. There has to be a purpose. There has to be a journey for her. What was that journey? And number two.
Love.
Number two. I wanted to go beyond or understand what is beyond the physical manifestation. The drivers, that's the internal world. And personally, I think there's no other better person than you to elaborate on that. And when Ronak said, okay, you can meet her on 31st, I did a little research about you. And what I found, there are 5 factors or 5 chapters or 5 phases, 49 to 72, 72 to 80, where you were a mere follower of Bhagwan, Osho, 80 to 85, when you worked very closely with him, 85 to 88, the trying period, legal hassles, court cases, etc., politics. Then 88 to 25, 37 years. You in Europe, Switzerland, doing excellent work, social work, good work, helping humanity. So when I look at it, it's a complete circle. A circle full of experiences. So my question to you in this background is, how has this journey from 1949 to 2025 been internally for you? And how has every phase contributed to your growth, evolution?
To answer your question, with the phases, the childhood, 49 till I met Bhagwan, it was filled with love. Love from parents, love from siblings, and I felt extremely secure and loved. There was no doubt. Then I met Bhagwan, and my whole outlook changed. Bhagwan, I fell in love with him, where life could have ended in that very moment, and I was ready for it. It was a profound moment. And then Bhagwan gave me the opportunity to be near him, to work with him, and he reciprocated my feelings. He put me, as he used to tell me, I'm putting you in a position of world envy. Don't fall for it. And for me, it was easy to concentrate on this beautiful man whom I loved. After that came roller coaster ride. And I learned a lot there too. I did 39 months of imprisonment, but you see no bangs on my body or my psychic. I took that time to understand time. We all talk about time. Mostly people don't have time. And I had 39 months of it. So it taught me patience and acceptance. And I recognized the value of time, how not to waste it on trivia. I came out of it. I could have allowed myself the luxury of becoming mentally ill or psychologically ill, but it didn't feel right. Then I would fail me, fail Bhagwan, and fail my parents who loved me so dearly. So I wanted my parents, who were old at that time, to die with a feeling that all their children did it well. And I wanted them to see that I'm back on my feet again, not to worry. I'll conquer the world again. And they saw it. That's when I created Matru Sadan and Bapu Sadan. We live 15, 16 nationalities together here and support each other. That was Bhagwan's dream, that small communities can change the world. And this is my small effort to do it. We experimented with Bhagwan's commune, 100% successful. And the proof of it is I exist here in similar manner.
Mhm.
So, all in all, it is a success story.
Of course, it's a success story because you were born and designed to contribute to the world, right? And the way I look at it, the journey from 49 till 88 was the training ground. And the anchor was Bhagwan, who made sure, like you said, I had the option or the luxury to become mentally ill. But then he made sure that you don't because you had a larger purpose. Sheila, honestly, I believe that in life, nothing happens by accident. There is a design behind everything. Now, whether you accept the design or not, that is your karmas, that's your wish. And 99% people don't accept the design, but you are the one noble soul which accepted the design.
I was not given a choice in matter. So why should I take the choice?
I love this thing. And what I got from you was that look, love as the anchor, patience as a virtue, and acceptance as the philosophy. Do they define you?
Of course, they define me or define my experience of life.
Mm-hmm.
And they support my existence.
Mm-hmm. So can we say that, well, let me put it this way. Today people have time, but they believe they don't have time because they are busy acting busy. Their priorities are lopsided. They're jumping from relationship to relationship. They're jumping from one job to the other, city to city. Their purpose, thoughts, and actions are not aligned. They don't know where they're going. And 99% people are dying of burnout. Though they might say there's no burnout, right? But something internally is happening, and we all know. They don't realize that the life is a maze of events, and each event triggers multiple ripples. They got to see the larger picture, join the dots, right? And there's a phenomenon to it. What would you advise these people drawing from your such a lovely, vast, honorable experience?
My advice is don't use burnout as an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Move inward and introspection.
Mm-hmm.
Little bit of introspection, little bit of soul searching,
Mm-hmm.
and do it honestly. Don't look for quick answers.
Mm-hmm.
Have patience and wait for the right answer. And right answer is love. Base your activities in love.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we all suffer because the values of life have been changed.
Mm-hmm.
People are more occupied with making their millions and billions
Mm-hmm.
instead of creating wealth of heart, quality of life. We have totally put our own world upside down. It's not necessary. And believe me, it's not boring.
Okay.
I find life sensational. I find it joyful, happy. Even in the moments where you don't feel to be joyful, But just look a little deep and you will find the joy.
I totally resonate with what you are saying. And what I say, just look beyond yourself. As simple as this.
Right.
And you will find that you are in a very privileged position. You
I
talk
got
of,
lucky. I hit the jackpot. And correct jackpot.
uh, uh, you just said soul searching, right? These days, there's a fad of everyone saying, I'm spiritual, I'm spiritual, I've become spiritual. And if you ask them, what does spirituality mean to them? They don't have an answer. And I'm sure you must be coming across a lot of people of this type. And somewhere I feel that such kind of people, in a way, it's good. Their consciousness is awakening. Ultimately, they would start understanding, but at the same time, people who are trying to make millions out of this weakness or the fad of society, what would you like to tell people who say that I'm spiritual? Is
I
there
don't
any
talk to
formula?
them.
I'm saying, is there any formula, a method by which there could be a reality check?
Being when somebody begins with their spirituality, I don't begin conversation. It is, for me, love was the thing that did it for me. And I didn't have to pretend, which spirituals have to always pretend with their colors and their third eyes opening and fifth eye shutting down. I mean, I don't want to be victim of fantasy. What may come, I want to feel the moment and reality of the moment. My calculations are very simple. I smile or I cry. And if I have to choose from both, equal portion.
Okay.
For me, this is how far I go.
Can I create a sandwich of smile and cry?
It happens sometimes when you are in love, you cry and you smile.
That is true, Sheila. I'm saying the bottom slice is love.
Right.
You cry or you smile
Or do both at the same
or
time.
do both at the same time, your wish.
Yeah.
You can say I'm multitasking. This is
Right.
one word I hate in today's jargon. Okay. And the top layer is acceptance.
Right.
So you genuinely cry or you genuinely smile. When?
All the time.
Only when love and acceptance is there. Otherwise, this does not allow you or gives you time to either smile or cry. It makes you crib, but that is something very different. I don't know whether you agree with me or not, but that is the way I look at it.
I fully agree.
Hmm. Now tell me one thing. If, say, Providence says, Sheila, I give you a chance to relive your life, and you got the powers to redesign it. So, what would be the difference between the life you have lived and the redesigned life?
I would not redesign it
Okay.
because what I have lived
Hmm.
is so profound
Okay.
and so fulfilling.
Hmm.
If I have made mistakes,
Hmm.
they are very human mistakes.
Right.
So I don't need to trouble my brains on that issue.
Hmm.
I'll make new mistakes.
I love that philosophy. If I re if I redesign, I'll make new mistakes.
Exactly. It
Right.
has to,
So
because
what's the
I'm
point
in
of
a new
redesigning?
situation.
Hmm.
And I'm not shy of mistakes.
Hmm.
I have nothing to justify
Hmm.
because I take mistakes as genuine mistakes.
Hmm.
And when you reflect on your mistakes, you learn a lot from them. So it's a learning process. Now I forgot the question. That's the age.
It's a free flowing conversation. As simple
But
as this. So just carry on.
okay.
Ah.
So the question is of changing.
Hmm.
No, not just for the change. But if I come across a
Hmm.
totally new element, totally new situation, or a new event, then of course I will not ignore it. I will learn from that too.
Hmm.
But the life that I have lived, I don't want to discard it because it has been such a rich life.
You know, your response made me nostalgic. From the period 1993 till 2002, I went through a lot of turmoil. And it was traumatic, painful, whatnot, whatnot. And and I did everything which I should not have done. Now, today, when I reflect, in 2002, 2003, I was so frustrated. I was so angry with myself. I was so disillusioned, dismayed, disappointed. You can use any word. I was a financial broke. I was a spiritual broke. I was an emotional broke. I was broke personified, epitome of broke. I went to my guru and said, "Sir, I can't take it anymore. I want to commit suicide." He looked at me, smiled, and said, "Your wish. It'll
Right.
be a it'll be a very foolish act." That's it. And probably, I'd gone there, looking for some sympathy or compassion or something. On the contrary, he just gave me one slap by saying, "Your wish. You want to die, die. It'll be a foolish act." And things changed. Yes. So, and today when I look back, Sheila, if people say, which is the best period of your life? I say 93 to 2003. Because that was the period I learned maximum.
Right.
That is the period when I saw life in its total naked form. That is the period when I saw relationships, how they're driven by money, by status, by position. And what I bring today and what I am today is only because of that period. Had it not been there, I wouldn't have been talking to you this way. I would have been sitting in some big plush office, counting money and shouting at people, "Why didn't we make more money?" So yes,
I fully understand you. Fully understand you. And I must say, my parents were very proud of seeing what I had, how I became standing back on my feet. They saw my hard work, my diligent way to move forward. And what you're saying is a reflection of how you must have done it and how I have done it.
You see, because Sheila, when I look back today, no event is good and bad. It's a very relative thing. It all depends how do you take it,
Mm-hmm.
you see. And for me, acceptance is the mother of all virtues. If you
Right.
if you accept reality as it is, without any filter, I think you have won 60-70% of your battle of life. And this is exactly, when I said a woman who took every blow on her chin and didn't give up, that was the thing I saw in you. And that always, made me say, okay, I wish I could meet her, speak to her. And yes, here it is today. I'm speaking to you.
I'm honored.
I think it's a mutual thing. Okay. uh, okay, Sheila, look, usually people tell other people what to do and they expect the other person to follow. And then they make it their prestige point or prestige issue. I told you so, you did not follow. Personally, I think people learn more and are more successful when you tell them what they should not do. Because everyone knows what to do, but very few know what not to do. So
Yes.
I'll not say answer in terms of what to do. Now, keeping the segment of 25 years to 40 years in mind, or probably let's lower down the age 20 years to 40 years. I think that's the most troubled segment of our society. What would you tell them or advise them what not to do?
Do not give up your basic values.
Mhm.
Have some self-respect
Mhm.
and understand what you want to do in your life. And align your desire of wanting to do with your basic values. Don't take shortcuts.
I think it's a very simple formula you're giving out and a profound one. And now this brings me to the point that, I read a little bit about what Bhagwan Osho has written. And obviously, people talk in society. Why was he so misunderstood? Because I don't find anything in his writings or sayings, which is sensational. But why was he so misunderstood?
Because he was not ready to be packed by tradition.
Okay.
He was bold enough to say no,
Mhm.
and he had logical answers
Mhm.
that even the masters and doctors education degrees people were not ready to accept.
Yeah, I get your point, because the soul age is very different than the intellectual or the biological age. So it is something like this, what I understand from you. A person in the 10th class, right,
Mm-hmm.
is being judged by a person in class 2 or class 3.
Right.
So obviously, what the student of the 10th class would say or do or submit, it would be The students of the second or the third just cannot understand that, comprehend that. Was it something like this?
Well, one part of it was like this. The other part was the greed for enlightenment.
Mhm.
When you see this greed, you say, oh my God, no, no way. But this feeling of no, no way, they didn't feel it.
Mhm.
I, as an observer, felt it right away.
Mhm.
And this is one of the reasons I don't want to be spiritual.
Okay.
This is the reason which pushes me back to myself. You need to know yourself.
Okay. And can I interrupt over here?
Yeah, please. I have done that number of times today.
I'm really enjoying this conversation with you. Uh, Spirituality for me is a verb, right? It's a verb. And it is living by the norms of the spirit.
Right.
It's a process
Mm-hmm.
where you start from I and reach we, from gross self centeredness to inclusiveness, selflessness. It's a journey,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a station. So I'll say, okay, Sheila today is not prepared to be defined by the definitions of spirituality as they're floating around in the market or in the academic circles. But she is grossly spiritual. Would you agree to that?
I didn't interrupt you, but I started laughing.
Why?
For me,
Yeah.
I put it in terms of fashion.
Okay.
Every day comes new fashion.
Mhm.
People try to use new fashion. And on some people, it just doesn't suit.
Mhm. Yes.
But they don't see it. They're standing in front of the mirror,
Mhm.
but they don't see that the fashion has not suited them.
Mhm.
But because it is a fashion of the time, they walk around in that fashion. And I feel I'm not ready to walk around in a fashion that doesn't suit me.
I totally resonate with what you're saying. Even fads, fashion, whatever term you may use, they don't enamor me. I won't stand in the queue because you are standing. I'll stand in the queue if I want to stand,
Exactly.
right? And this is my biggest fight. When I talk to people, I will fight not in the sense of fighting, but in the sense that the disconnect, internal disconnect, when I talk to people. I'll tell you a very interesting thing. A friend of mine, she came, we were talking, and I said, look, compassion is much higher than empathy. She said, okay. She said, I'm very compassionate. I said, brilliant. You should be compassionate. We were going out of the house. A rickshaw guy, right, who was riding a rickshaw, driving a,
Right.
right? He's crossing. She stops him. Hey, come here. Takes out a 100 rupee note, gives it to him, and says, look, I cannot see poverty. And after this chap leaves, then he stops the rickshaw, pulls out an iPhone from his pocket, starts talking. So this is what I think this is what you're referring to. People doing something without understanding what they're doing, and they're just mouthing it.
Right. There, I don't know if it's in relation with it or not, what I'm going to say now. I feel that person doesn't like to see poverty, then they have every right to do something about it. But to say the $100 will take away poverty, will not.
This is exactly the point I was making. It was a show of her trying to impress me and
Okay.
create evidence of what she said in the drawing room half an hour back.
Right,
So that was more like massaging her ego or massaging her guilt.
right,
I've done nothing wrong. And when we go around today, I find such people in tons, believe me, in tons.
right. I believe you 100% on it. No doubt,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Now, tell me something about this home which you have created, where you said 15 odd nationalities are staying together.
Right.
Tell me something about that, because that is again very exciting, because the Pondicherry created by Ma Aurobindo, mother or right, in the Aurobindo ashram,
Yeah,
that is crumbling. It'll take time, but you see, that started crumbling. There's politics, there's infighting, they're fighting for control of power, etc., etc. Criminal activities are there, very much there. So what used to be a safe haven is no more such. So tell me
that
more
is,
about this experience of yours.
yeah, that is unfortunate. That can also happen here because we don't know where people are at, and it's not proper for me to judge what will happen when I'm no longer here. But definitely comes a time I won't be here.
Mhm.
After 34 years, last year, I retired. I
Okay.
was forced to retire because we are part of government home.
Okay.
I began this home in the crisis to get back on my feet after imprisonment. I read a newspaper, small little thing in German, which I don't normally
Mhm.
understood then. I didn't know German at that time. But somehow my hand went in the right place and I asked someone to translate it, these 2, 3 lines. They did. And they said, you can take some person in need in your own apartment or a house and take care of them. And then, of course, you can, through that, earn your keep. And I was thinking about it. What should I do? I jumped on the opportunity. I took it as somebody placed this information right in front of me. So I react on it or the respond on it. So that's how I began the home creation. And before I knew it, I had in first 5 years 16 people living with me.
Mhm.
And I lived day and night with them.
Mhm.
I cooked, I cleaned, I ironed the clothes, I did all the manual work that I could.
Mhm.
as long as I could take care of them. And then number became bit bigger. Then I hired one person, then hired two. And like that, 34 years, I have been working with them and living with them. My advantage is being a Swiss citizen and being from the third world country. I wasn't shy of poverty. I also had areas where I was very good at figuring out the crises. They didn't paralyze me. I was able to make quick changes in things. And we went up to, before COVID, up to 36 people in 2 buildings and functioned very well. So 18 years I worked as a private home. And after that, government saw my work and they made me part of them. Here they call it partner of the government. And government has much bureaucracy, which was not to my taste, but I figured it out how to deal with the bureaucracy. People who were good with bureaucracy, they did the bureaucracy in the house. And people who wanted some adventure, we remained with the people. And we managed it. And we also comply with human rights and all that. It is our home because me being a foreign born, I'm sympathetic naturally to the foreigners. And that is a big advantage for foreigners in our house. Otherwise, in a big normal institutes, they may be ignored or they are not well received or so. But here, they feel at home. I dance with everybody. And it's no issue for me. I like colors. And I like the efficiency of the Westerners. And I function with that efficiency myself also. So I took it and integrated both. And now it is a calculation point. We are multicultural, multilingual. So that's how this house runs. I'm 24 hours here with them. I travel with them, the people who are capable of traveling. We work with the most difficult, complex psychological and mental illnesses. We also deal with the physical illnesses. And we have a name in our state for dealing with most difficult people.
Brilliant. Congratulations. Hats off to you, the way you have cultivated it. Okay, now first, jumped into it, then nurtured it, cultivated it, and managed it. Having so many nationalities, multilingual things, half the time people don't understand each other, their cultures, their conflict, and living in harmony in such an environment definitely needs all the love, compassion, and acceptance put together, which I believe you are the epitome.
Well, on this note, I would like to invite you when you are in Switzerland. Don't forget me. Come by and you can experience it.
I would love to. I would love to. You see, and Sheila, whenever I talk to people, like I was in Portugal giving a keynote 15 days back. So, and my keynote is the same, spirituality which comes from the East, the practicalness, the material life which comes from the West, bringing them together on a common platform. And
Right.
gave them a lot of examples where love, when the businesses, they made love their central point and the entire business strategy revolved around love, they grew 10x faster than the average growth of companies on the stock exchange.
Right.
The love is that powerful. And I always say that, look, like you said, and I loved it, efficiency of the West, the compassion of the East, right?
Uh,
And I always say that, look, the inner world of the East, the outer world of the West. I think the language is different. We are talking of the same thing, right? Let's bring
right.
them together. Only then a universal solution would be possible. And here is one person who has already created the universal solution. And I'm seeing that in your homes that you have created, because the central point is love.
I used my need at that time to find a stable ground for me first and have dignity of earning money, because 14 years I was with Bhagwan, I earned nothing.
Mhm.
And suddenly I come out of prison and I have to find, and my pride was so high that I didn't want to borrow money from anybody. So I had to move quick in my steps to build something for me. So it was give and take.
Well, you are calling it give and take, and I would say you went through the journey, came to a point, you were given an impulse. The ad came in front of you in a language which you did not know. Someone walks in, he or she reads the ad, you understand, and you say, I will do it. So it was like one missing piece in the journey, which was put, and you were trained for this thing to leave an example or leave a legacy that people from different nationalities, people with different cultures, people speaking different languages, different colors, they can live in harmony. And this is what the world needs today.
Right.
And unfortunately, even the siblings from the same parents, they refuse to live in harmony these days.
It is dreadful.
Ah,
It is dreadful. And what I feel even more dreadful today, the youth is not ready to respect their elders and care for them. I hear so many stories, so many situations about it where youth is only focused on inheritance they will receive or whatnot.
but over here, let me share my experience. Since I work with students and I've worked with a lot of youngsters in business, mentoring business, I think the mode of communication and expression has changed dramatically. You see, from the times we grew up, okay, you are 6, 7 years elder to me, so I'll say the times are virtually the same, the pre-computer era.
Right.
Uh, but still, like we longed for our parents' approval. We longed for their hand over us. We long for their protective glance. Similarly, the kids even today want that. But externally, for whatever reason, they position themselves or they try to prove they're Superman, Superwoman. But if you shake them good and proper, and a lot of parents, they come complaining because whatever image they had in their mind, the child's behavior is not fitting into that image. It's like something in a relationship, what usually happens, rather than accepting the person as he or she is, you try to convert the person to fit into your image. I think that's also a very big challenge between parents and kids these days.
They have to become friends at one time,
Hmm.
and then they can relate better.
Yes.
But becoming friends probably also to some parents is a foreign idea, because one should only respect parents and say yes. There is the mistake sometimes parents make. I'm not saying it's a foolproof parents' problem or the children's problem, but both have needs. And when they have needs, then things go wrong because motives are not pure.
Mhm. And you see, and I think more than the communication, it's also a mindset issue. My child, where you tend to become the owner.
Right. It's not ownership.
It's not ownership. You are
You
the
have to,
nurturer.
right. You have to give them freedom.
You got to give them freedom. They're independent souls. They're
Right.
independent entities. They've got their own karmas. They've got their own. Your job is just to help them to grow into healthy, independent individuals,
Right.
capable of taking right decisions. But a lot of time, parents also tend to live the life of their children, which I think is very bad and which really, damages the child much more.
And I think also Bollywood doesn't help with their televisions and films where they show this stereotype between Sasu and
And
daughter.
daughter-in-laws,
And I find it fairly ugly,
uh,
these episodes they show. Of course, it helps me very much because then I don't have to turn on my television at all, you know. But it is, they have to make basic change in this narrative.
uh, I totally agree with you, because the entire thing is so regressive.
Right.
It is so regressive that instead of telling people that, look, you got to accept, you got to have patience, you got to have faith, trust, you got to accommodate, what they're suggesting, you got to connive, you got to manipulate.
Exactly.
And then comes a hero or a heroine, doom, 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 full of violence, right?
Right.
And then you uphold the hero as if he's semi-god. That is
Right.
not life,
It warps the reality so badly.
right?
And but you know, they have to understand, they have to give some values to the people in their creativity.
I'll put it this way, Sheila. In countries like India, Switzerland, most of the Europe, right?
Right.
US, there's a lot of freedom, individual freedom. Now, freedom comes with certain riders and comes at a cost. Now, what is that cost? To sacrifice your needs if your needs are hurting the larger good of society. Or,
Correct.
in
Uh-huh.
simple terms, behave righteously, not out of ego, but in a righteous fashion. At
With
least in
grace.
India, what I'm seeing
Mhm.
is it's all I. There's no space for we or us. And obviously, it is having repercussions in society, which are very ugly. Number of rapes have gone up, number of Murders have gone up. Number of road rages have gone up. Like yesterday, there was a news, which is very disturbing if you ask me. One guy was going on a scooter by mistake. He brushed against a car. The
Ah,
couple got so agitated, they trailed that boy for a good 4 5 kilometers, hit his scooter, full bloom at high speed. He went flying, identified him, and then took their car over that boy. And he died instantly. For what? For a scratch of 2 inches on their car. You see,
the values are warped.
they're absolutely warped. So I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can go on and on and on and on. I was just loving chatting with you. It was not like it's the first time I'm meeting you. It was like, okay, a long lost friend. I'm meeting her after a long time.
Well, I'm enjoying the conversation also.
And
And we haven't spoken about any of my crimes or anything. And it is so refreshing.
thank you. And this is what I messaged you yesterday. This is what I messaged you yesterday. I
Yeah.
want it to be different. I want to know the real Sheila, her journey. Episodes are fine. Everything happens. Some good, some bad, different opinions. It happens in everyone's life. And those are learning points. They are learning turns. So,
And to be honest with, there are people who use me or my example or whatever to benefit themselves. And they look sometimes so stupid. And I don't care what they say, why they say, it is not my business. And I allow everyone their opinion.
mm,
But it is refreshing not to have to go back 40 years and talk about.
yeah, but I took you back to 49.
That is okay. That's a correct distance.
So I took you back for 75. That makes it 76 years. I
I
started from
will end of the
49.
year 76.
Yeah. So, no, it was very refreshing for me also, you know, because people are people. All I'll say, people are people. And 99% people cannot see what is below the superficial.
Right.
They can't distinguish between the visible and the invisible. They don't know that it's the invisible which drives the visible. You ask them, how does a plane fly? They'll say, engine, the pilot, the wings. And I say, no, it is the force of gravity, pull, thrust. When these energies come together, then the big plane is propelled in the air and you travel,
Exactly.
right? So it is the invisible which drives the visible. And this is the reason I said, let's talk of the internal, not the external.
It is so refreshing. It's absolute pleasure.
Same here. And I really enjoyed our conversation. And I had a few questions. I just put them aside. I said, let's flow freely. Whatever comes to my mind, I'll ask. Whatever she answers, she answers.
And I don't prepare for my conversation or anything. I tell people, ask me what you want to when we meet.
Mhm.
It is to prepare for it is extra work, and I work enough.
Well, I had to do that because you see, since I was the host, I was leading it. So, yes, I had to do some research, right? But
Right.
just noted a few points and a question, that's it.
But it's a fun research.
Mhm.
Yes, all masalas.
And I think I was smart enough not to get the masala in.
Right. That's right. Otherwise, it would be too spicy.
Yeah. Uh, so this is
May,
it.
may I ask you, where are you located?
I'm located in New Delhi,
Okay.
and I do keep traveling. I'll take your address and we should be in touch. There's so much I can learn from your experience, from your life.
Ah, for 5 years, being old doesn't make much difference.
It's not
It is
this.
the same experience
No,
you have.
I am not saying this because you are elder to me.
No, no. I
Uh,
just use that
yeah, I'm
calculation.
saying this thing because I internally feel that yes, what she has gone through, very few go through. And the way she has come out, very few come out. Therefore, she's the chosen one. So, and in case she's the chosen one, then open your heart, open your arms, open your mind, and absorb whatever she gives. Simple.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, this is it. And I'm a banya. Banyas are known only for taking and not giving.
So, okay.
Okay. So, I usually, tell people a story. I said one person was going a banya, he fell in the river. So and he didn't know how to swim. So one person was walking. So he said, "Hey, give me your hand. I'll pull you out." He said, "How can I give you my hand? I've never given anything in my life." So now this guy was puzzled. He said, "Look, this chap is drowning and he's not prepared to come out." Then he got a brainwave. He said, "Okay, take my hand." He said, "Yeah, that's more like me." And the person took the person's hand and he was pulled out.
That's also mania. Okay.
So that's it. And do you travel to India? Do you come to India?
I was, beginning of this month, I was in New Delhi at the airport.
Okay.
I went to Ranchi with a
Okay.
small group
Ranchi.
of my patient here, and we
Okay.
went for 3 weeks, and we had lovely time. Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
next time, whenever you come, if
Okay.
you let me know in advance, then I'll make sure that I'll be in Delhi. And in case you come to Bombay, because half the time I'm in Bombay, so I keep shuttling between Bombay and Delhi.
Okay.
And where are you in Switzerland?
Near Basel. You know Basel, where the
No, I don't know.
uh, jewelry trade fairs happen, watch
Okay.
and jewelry. So I'm from Basel, like 20 kilometers.
Okay.
And it's a small village
Hmm.
of 850 people.
Okay.
Live on top of the hill there, here.
Lovely, lovely. And in Delhi, we have such uh, absolutely bad pollution, right? And
No,
you are making me feel envious of you living in open air on top of a hill. And Switzerland is obviously beautiful. I've been there
yeah,
once or twice.
right.
Yes, it is a lovely country, a very peaceful country, and a
Yeah,
very happy, open country. Yeah.
yeah, a bit cold with emotions, but if you can ignore it, it's beautiful. They
Uh,
don't mean to be so cold, but the weather is cold.
weather is cold. And this is the reason they only eat ice cream in winters.
Right.
And say poison kills poison.
And that's why they produce the best ice cream also in the world.
Yeah. So, Sheila, it's been a pleasure speaking to you, talking to you. So, and my long, long wish, desire has been fulfilled today. I'm sure we'll connect again.
Definitely. And feel free to call anytime. I respond to everybody that I don't have a high nose, or I'm very down to earth.
And you'll find that even I'm very down to earth, straightforward, candid, simple.
Right.
So let's
So,
be in touch.
definitely, I will thank Ronak for giving you the right information.
Well, Ronak, said to me, I said, look, Ronak, don't tell me anything. I don't want this conversation to be the typical conversation. There are plenty. I want to be refreshing. Just
Right.
let me handle it. He's a sweet boy, a sweet chap.
Right.
Yeah.
And my problem is I have done so many podcasts. And I have, since I left Bhagwan, I have stopped maintaining any order, writing, or telephone number, except for what I need for work here. That is my doctors and emergency room and this and that for the business. I don't go out. I'm not a coffee clutch person either. So I stay here in my paradise.
Lovely. And I will visit your paradise very soon one day.
Perfect.
So,
I will wait. I will look after that.
okay, thank you very much. With a lot of love and affection.
Same here.